My friends, I would like to tell you why a relationship with Jesus Christ matters more than anything. A relationship with Jesus Christ matters because then it becomes very personal. Then you bypass all the bureaucracy. You bypass all the formalities. You bypass all the so-called rules and regulations. Because you know the boss. See? You're known by the boss, and the boss knows you. You see, the king knows you. When you enter into a kingdom, you see, other people will have to go through all those other things, formalities, but because the boss knows you, because the king knows you, what happens then, my friends? Then you pass through all that other things that other people have to go through. You go straight. You see? I'll give you an example of what was very symbolic for me. You know, I had a very strong relationship with a certain person I knew in university. He was the son of a certain man, and we became very, very good friends. Strong relationship, you see. And for many years, you know, our relationship was based on deep things, about talking about real issues in life, and you know, God, many other things, you see. So one day, you know, I had to come up with money for school. You know, I didn't have no loans, so I was working. I had to work and, you know, do many things to come up with money. So what happened was, I was working like 2 and 3 jobs, and it was not enough, and I was gonna end up you know, not being able to finish school and being kicked out on the street and all kinds of things. So, you know, the night before the deadline, you know, I was in prayer. I had been praying to the Lord and say, Lord, you know, I don't have, all my strength has failed, all my abilities have failed. You see, it's all in your hands now. There's nothing I can do. So I remember I was supposed to mop a certain building. It was late in the night, probably around 12, you know, somewhere around there, late night, cleaning some building. And I went into the janitor's closet, and I just fell to my knees, and I said, Lord, you know, I have no strength. I have nothing I can do anymore. It's not, whatever I've done is not been nowhere near enough. It's not gonna, I mean, I was short by, you know, like $5,000, you know, like something like, you know, like 4,000 something, some big number like that, you know. And what happened was, you know, after I finished praying, you know, in the closet, you know, I kind of took a breath and, you know, started walking, and was about to, you know, continue mopping, and the phone rang, you know. And it was unbelievable, because this friend who I hadn't been in, you know, I hadn't really, you know, said anything to him. He called me and he said, you know, I heard about your situation. He said, what's the situation? I said, you know what, man, I don't want to ask you for money. I don't ask people for money, you know. It's just, this is what it is, you know. Everything I've done has not been sufficient. So he said, look, I would like you to talk to my dad, you know. And I never knew this guy's dad. I never talked to him before, and blah 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 blah. You see, my friends, so he put his dad on the phone, you know, and I talked to his dad, and his dad says, you know, my son says very good things about you, you know. He says you're a very good person, you have a very good heart. And, you know, I just couldn't believe it, that on the strength of what his son said, this man wired money to pay for my school. My friends, this had nothing to do with this man or his son. This had everything to do to testify. It was symbolic to me, to show me that if you know the Son, you know the Father. See, many people, they don't understand when Jesus said, I and the Father are one. You know the Son, my friend, you know the Father. You see, if you're known of the Son, you know the Father. You have a personal relationship with Him, my friend, that's all you need. Everything else is done. You see, and if you're obedient to it, you see, with Him. So these are the things. I couldn't believe it. I just couldn't believe it that the next day I just walked, into a place where I was supposed to be kicked out, and, someone had just, out of the strength of what his son said, he knew me because he knew his son. You see, my friends. Now this is the same thing with the Father, we must know Jesus Christ, my friends. Otherwise, this relationship with this son of his, it had nothing to do. It was about life, my friends. It was about intimate issues in life, sharing life together. There were no financial transactions involved, and if they were, they had nothing to do. They were very secondary. It was all a personal relationship. It was a heart relationship. You see, my friends. You see, and this man just, he just gave me this money out of nowhere. And many things like this have happened, my friends. It's got nothing to do with me. It's all to the glory of Jesus Christ. You see, because we must know Jesus. Because when we know Jesus, my friends, it is only then, because he is the one who will testify to his Father. You see, my friends. So this is why all these rules and things that people think you know people by reading, this is all a lie. It's all a lie. You know people by being honest. We're living in a society that teaches us to play games, to give shows to people. They play head games and show everybody, quote things without understanding where they come from and what the life is behind those words and actions. You see, my friends, we've got to know Jesus Christ. You see, he's got to be in our hearts. We've got to take him. We've got to talk to him. We've got to listen to him. We've got to learn to listen to him. We've got to learn to see, a relationship is with somebody. That means you're there for that person when no one else is. You're there to listen to that person when no one else is listening. You're there to go and stand with that person when no one else wants to stand with them. You see, that is when people remember, even human beings. They remember, they're like, man, that's the only person. You see? And that's what happens. You see, so this was symbolic, my friends, you see, to show that we must know Jesus Christ. You see, it's beyond all this bureaucracy, all this legalism, sorry, and letter of the law kind of living. You see, it's heart behind it, my friends. This man's son and me, he knew my heart, and I knew his heart. You see, I knew his heart too, and that's the difference. We lived in each other's heart. This is why when push came to shove, he stood for me when I needed. And it wasn't him. It had nothing to do with him. It had everything to do with Jesus Christ showing me something. You see? Because it is only by his mercy. You see, my own strength failed. My own mind failed. Everything failed. But Jesus is the one, you see, who gets all the glory. Because he's the one that moves people. You see? He's the one that moves situations and circumstances. The problem is, my friends, we have no relationship with him. If we have no relationship with somebody, we cannot trust in them. We can talk from the outside with our lips that we trust. I trust, oh, I am led by the Spirit, blah, 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 blah. All this talking. But it's not coming from within, my friends. You see, when it's within, if you see a husband and wife that are in love, you can just see it by the look. It's within them. It emanates that, hey, these two, they love each other. You see? It's not all this yapping and all these other things. See? See, the tree and the ground are so intimate with each other. The roots are living so strong inside the soil. And the soil is so, absorbed in the roots. But there's not much talking. See, there's life being exchanged. You see? This is, my friends, please. All these things that the world is teaching, and the Christians are copying and pasting, cutting and pasting without any discretion, it's gonna kill them. You see? Where you think a relationship is based on head knowledge, head processes, and talking like a parrot about something, and regurgitating phrases and quotations, and then applying them to you, saying that that's what is for you, labeling yourself, calling yourself what God has not called you. You see, if we know Jesus Christ, my friends, we just ask Him everything. You know the King of the Kingdom, you can take your petition to Him straight and He'll give you an answer. You see, this is the thing, my friends. No, but people want to play this mediator role, this intermediary. You see, this middleman. Oh, you've got to come through. Then that person will make merchandise of people or deceive them, or, you know, these kind of things. You see, because that's what the world does. You see, it creates a middleman and then it exploits people. You see, and the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. But my friends, if we know Jesus, we know everything. If we know the Spirit of God, we will be led into all truth. If I'm going somewhere and something is going to happen, I can be warned. It's not in the scripture what's going to happen, but I will be warned. It will be given to me in my thought. Maybe somebody will stop me on the side of the road. I don't know, I'm getting upset. You know, look at this person, why are they stopping me? Then meantime there's something happening down the street, you see, and the Spirit of God is saving me. And then you realize later, oh Lord, forgive me. You see, my friends, we need a relationship. We pass through all this. We cannot live by the letter of the law anyway. We cannot live by the scriptures, because nobody can keep the scriptures by themselves. They are liars if they tell you that. You see, in the time of Peter, there were no scriptures saying that Peter was going to receive. Yeah, there was a place that said men will get visions and dreams, yes, but there was no place which said Peter would get that vision. So how were people going to know if Peter's vision with four-footed beast was true? The only way they were going to know was what? If they themselves were engrafted into the Spirit of God. They themselves were living and abiding in the Spirit of God. Who would tell them? Confirm to them. This is Peter. You see, I know him. This is Paul, I know him. This is so-and-so, I know them. You see? Or they send you a same dream, so you know, oh, yeah, it's true. You see? So these are the things, my friends. Many times I have prayed for somebody, and that person, for example, I pray for somebody, Lord, show them about this situation. And the exact same situation I pray for, they end up showing, they end up learning about it, or then telling other people. And I had been praying, I had been quickened to pray about that. You see? So it shows how the Spirit of God works when you're doing things according to His will. You see? When we are all in tune with the Spirit of God. We don't need, if you know the author of a book that is written the book, my friends, if that author is going to live forever, he'll keep writing new books. He won't stop. You see? So you have to move with him, because he lives forever. He's got something new to say today, something new to say tomorrow. You see? Maybe he wants to tell you something about what's going to happen tomorrow. Where is he going to communicate? The word internet is not in the Bible. You see? How is he going to say that to you? Oh, go on the internet and do. He's not going to say in the Bible. He's going to tell you directly, my son, daughter, this is what you do. You see? So my friends, we should not be childish and stubborn in carnality and in head knowledge. This is when you see these kids that start quoting verses and reiterating them, and they've got nothing, they've never been through nothing in life, so they don't know the reality of the theoretical situation. And they never been through that. It's not theirs, it's not within them. So they have to talk a lot to give people a show. My friends, let's not be like that. Let's know the King. If we know the King, that's all that matters. Because then, whatever has to happen, it's all in His hands. You see? Then we know we can bring whatever we go through into His hands, and He will have power over that situation, because we've given Him the power, because it's our choice. You see? So my friends, please choose a relationship with Jesus Christ. How do you have a relationship? It starts with opening the depth of your heart to Him. Letting Him occupy the depth of your heart. Not all those other things, remove them. Readings and all these other things, whatever it is. Know Jesus Christ, my friends. Listen to Him, follow Him.